Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 551 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. We are back.
Woo-woo.
It is the Monday installment, guys. Starting over a new week. So if you wished for the apocalypse over the weekend, got at least another. We got more time to go. Didn't
One more
happen.
time.
So no
Maybe,
time.
maybe, maybe next week. Maybe
Maybe
next week
next week.
if we're lucky.
Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Welcome back, everybody. Yeah. Michael, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. A little tired. A little tired. Maybe
All right.
party too hard this weekend. But other than that, I'm doing good.
It wasn't even a holiday weekend. What are you doing partying already?
It was a nice weekend out, and the drinks just kept flowing.
All right, that happens.
You know how it be.
I
You know
heard you got
how it be.
I heard you got together with some friends and played Dungeons and Dragons.
I did.
How
I
did that
did.
go?
Not good. We got our asses whooped because no one could roll for shit.
Hmm.
Next time, I think I'm going in. I'm going to take my phone and have just like, oh, I forgot my dice. I don't worry. I got a program here, so I roll everything I need.
What is that Dungeons and Dragons? Is that like do you like act like characters or shit and some shit or
Yeah, you got your little miniature. You move it around. Different scenarios pop off. So you have to react as your character would. You can't act. You don't want to like react as yourself. So you got to act like your character. And my character reacted like my character, and I almost got the group killed.
how does it?
I'm supposed to be protecting my boss's son, and the kid, he went and did something stupid, so I had to go try and save him, and I almost got everyone killed.
How do you
Now, if that was me,
react?
that was me in real life. My boss's son would have been in trouble. I'm like, that's his own damn fault.
Well, I'm kind of curious. I mean, you can't really act like yourself. You have to act like the character.
Yeah,
What exactly do you do? How do you act like a character? What's give us
I
an
did. I just
example?
like think, okay, like my guy's employed by like this king, and I'm with that king's son. I've known him for a while. My character's known him for a while, and we're having to go do some shit. So like, all right, my guy's gonna do what he has to do to protect his boss. Me in real life, I'm gonna do what I got to do to protect myself. I don't care about my boss.
Right, but do you
But
act?
yeah,
I mean, do you talk
no,
like in voices? It's
oh
like,
god, no,
hey,
no,
you
no,
get
no,
over
huh?
here, you.
No, 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 no. I just like make decisions
Does
in game
anybody
on
do?
how
Does
he.
anybody really get into it like that? Where they
No, no,
no? Because
no.
I seen things where these people that play
Oh
these
yeah,
kind
they
of
get real into
they
it.
dress up like the guys,
Yeah,
and
no, no, no. We don't do any of that. We just more or less get together, hang out, drink.
you don't think it would be more fun to do that, to act like
It it
to act like
might.
a knight or a dragon or
It might, but I can't get into it though. I can get into like the mindset of the character because it's like when I play like video games. If I'm playing like a role playing video game, I make decisions like, oh, my character, I'm playing him this way, so I'm gonna play him as like an evil character in the video game. I'm gonna do all those dialogue options that they give me. So when I'm playing, role playing with dice, you know, how
and
would
you did
how would my guy make this decision?
you played with dice, you did the whole the
Oh
whole
yeah, yeah,
old school
yeah.
board
That's
game
old
now, or
school. Yeah,
everybody, like you said, is online. They're
online.
playing
Yeah,
things, huh? And you
yeah.
actually all get together and play, right?
Yeah. And then like, then I have another group that will play like Diablo on the Xbox together. It's the same thing, except it's a video game where, you know, it's all ones and zeros making the decisions for you. So
I'd like to see this. I'd like to see you and a bunch of your frids together and and playing, a little bit more enthusiastically
yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
doing the
No, no, we
voices
get
and the
like we'll get into it. We don't do the voice and stuff, but we get into it like as our character.
hmm.
Because after like a round will be over, like, oh God, I can't believe my character did that. Like dumbass, I'm the one who did it, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm blaming
right.
my character. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'd like to see this. If you can set up a camera next time, that'd be great. I think
Like
the
we were
viewers would like
streaming
this
like the
too.
last time we played, not like this last time, but like last year when we were all or 2 years ago when we were all able to get together, we were streaming it and we did have people watching.
Huh.
Yeah.
So there you go, everybody.
Yeah.
When you were home doing your weekend things, Mike was playing Dungeons
Yeah,
and
that was
Dragons.
I was drinking too. I think it's more or less an excuse for everyone to get together, have a few drinks, a couple other illicit substances, and just have a good time.
Poker is old school. That's people don't do that
No,
no more.
I don't know. D&D and poker are old school.
Okay.
Yeah, because you remember the scare of the '80s was Dungeons and Dragons. Then the scare of the 2000s when the World Series of Poker really took off on TV. It was like, oh, all these college kids playing poker now.
All right. There you go, everybody. D&D.
D&D, baby. That's where the money's at now too.
What does that mean?
Man, they're like channels on Twitch, on YouTube, big D&D channels, man, on TikTok. They make a lot of they get a lot of eyeballs on them.
Hmm.
A lot of
I have to
people,
say
oh
that's what
yeah.
you should do. Why aren't you doing that?
Eh,
Okay.
I don't want to like monetize everything
Okay.
that I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
I was gonna say no. Why wake up and get paid for every move that you make? That would be just stupid.
But then you start thinking everything as a transaction, and then like your hobbies don't become your hobbies anymore. Your hobby becomes your job.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Speaking of somebody with a good job, with good job security, like Paul Skeens has another knockout weekend for the
Ooh,
Pittsburgh Pirates.
yeah, you did.
Buccos they beat the Cubs in a series 3 games to 1. Overall this season they're up in the series 4 games to 3. So if this
Mm-hmm.
was a 7 game series against the Cubs, which we've played them so far,
We would
we
have
would
won.
have won that series 4 games to 3. Pirates win yesterday. They won 3-2, Mike, in the game that well, let me tell you this first. They out
Yeah.
hit the Cubbies 30-10 in the series.
Yeah.
And this has to do mainly with the pitching staff, the rotation of the Pirates, and even the bullpen held it together enough. And they were able to, as I said, win this series against the Cubs, who's
Yeah.
directly in front of them in the division. So that was nice. Mike,
Yeah. I was
yeah,
impressed by the pitching staff this week, like the bullpen this weekend.
the bullpen held it together. They held it together in Chicago. Again, that's encouraging. And neither of the two teams in front of us, the Brewers or the Cubs, really scare me too much. I mean, we've I think we're split with the Brewers and we're up on the Cubs on the season. So if we could hang in there and hit the ball, but I got to tell you, I'm starting to see signs of this team showing life on offense, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
They put up 10 runs the other night. Friday night, we talked about Thursday. That was the Jared Jones start. Friday, they had Paul Skeens on the mound, where Paul Skeens comes in and strikes out the first 7 batters.
He was just on a tear.
Buccos end up winning that game. We'll talk more about Skeens in just a moment. The following day, Saturday, Bailey Falter was on the hill, and this game went 0-0 all the way to the 9th inning. Bailey Falter threw a gem,
He did.
and they had they this game. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but this came down to the bottom of the ninth. The
Yeah.
Cubs had a guy on. I don't know if he was on second or third or whatever. Okay, but the ball was hitting the bottom of the ninth to the center fielder. Michael Taylor takes the ball, throws it. Was a little bit off with his throw. The catcher Bart grabs the ball, stretches across the plate, tags the guy, and then he holds the ball for the umpire to see that he still has the ball. The runner hits the ball. The ball falls out of his hand. The game is called over because they said he's safe. There's 2 parts to this. It was the tag where you could see the guy's foot actually flip forward as if it got tagged, and after the tag was applied, you see the guy's foot kind of shoot forward. And the second part to that was the part where the ball gets knocked out, which it did appear to be an accident.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it should have been called out in the first place. That
Yes.
should have been the game.
Yeah. Yeah. But by the letter of the rule book, it's an out. If ands or buts about it, they even reviewed it and then still got it wrong.
The
So
Pirates are
that's
always on this end
impressive.
of the stick. They're
Yeah.
always on this end of the
Yeah.
stick.
Especially against the Cubbies.
And even you think back to 2013 against the or 2011 against the Braves, where they lose the 19 inning game on a game that Michael McHenry applied to tag, and they said that he did not. But this kind of thing seems to happen to the Pirates frequently, but whatever. They stink, so I guess you know what? If you do it to anybody, do it to the Pirates.
Exactly. That's how they feel. We'll just screw over the bucko because who's going to care? It's the Pirates.
Yesterday, they come out, Mike. They win this game. They improved to 22-26 on the season. Rowdy Tellez
Yeah.
gets absolutely nothing done.
Yeah, but hey, we don't do that here. We don't do that here.
I sent Mike over the game box for the game, and
That
everybody
was
had a
bad.
number. Everybody had some
Yeah.
kind of number,
Yeah.
even
Like
if it was
Connor
a
Joe
walk.
got a walk, no hits, but he got on base.
Rowdy Tellez is the only guy that did nothing. He literally had zeros the whole way across the board for a whole entire game played. He accomplished nothing. Meanwhile, Jack Sawinski hits a home run. Nick Gonzalez, Andrew McCutcheon, and Triolo all get they all have 2-hit games. I guess over the weekend, Andrew McCutchen, he had 2 games in a row where he hit home runs.
Yeah.
So the furries were in town. That's
The
why,
furries
Mike.
are in town. You know when the furries are in town, that's when like McCutcheon tends to break out of his shell, then tends to get it rolling.
I think the Pirates are. Call me
They're
crazy, but you kind of feel a little bit of a turn here. Whether they
a
can
little
hold
bit,
it together,
yeah.
I'm like, with the rotation they got, you have to think they're in every game now.
Yeah, especially Jones and Skeens, they've proven, even especially Skeens, even after 2 starts, that they're gonna they're gonna give you a chance to win every game. Keller's rounding into like that MVP. I mean, all-star form that he showed at the beginning of last year. And even Falter is starting to play a little bit better, pitch a little bit better as well. So you have 1, 2, 3, and maybe even 4 starters.
Bailey Falter did throw a gem, and also yes, Mitch Keller. He threw a really good game yesterday. Mike, his line went like this: 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, three
Yeah.
Ks. In your ideal bullpen situation, Holderman, Chapman, Bednar comes in,
Yeah,
he
they played
seals the
well.
deal. This is the first time I've seen all 3 of these guys.
Yeah.
But it even comes down to this. Okay, Colin Holderman had 2 strikeouts in his inning. Aroldis Chapman had 2 strikeouts in his inning, and David Bednar, he gave up a walk, which I would like to see that improve, because I mean that was his only thing, that he didn't have any strikeouts, but he got out of it. Nonetheless, no damage done. But it was probably the most ideal game pitcher wise that we've seen in a
Yeah.
while. The starter getting a 6 innings, 6 really good innings. Holderman 2 Ks, Chapman
Yep.
2 Ks, and again, I'd like to see Bednar, maybe get a strikeout in there instead of
Yeah.
a walk. But he's having a down season. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. Like if he can start getting it around too, because like you said, he didn't get the strikeout, but he got out of the jam, was able to shut him down there in the ninth. That's what you want to see in that game right there. That's like what we envisioned this bullpen being: a pitcher going 6 innings, then Porterman, Chapman, Bednar. That's what we talked about all spring training, and
Yeah,
we finally were able to see it. And like you said, things might be turning a corner. Like you said, man, their record, they're slowly creeping back up there.
they are, Mike. After they they lost ground. They lost ground fast. So let me give you the division standings as we speak. Milwaukee, of course, is still up top. The Chicago Cubs are 2 games out of first place. The Pirates are 6 games out of first place. The Cardinals passed the Reds. The Reds are playing so poorly, they got passed by the hapless Cardinals. Mike, the Cardinals 7 games out, and the Reds 8.5. 8.5 games. At one
I
point over
love
the
to see it.
weekend, their last 10 was 1-9 in their last 10. I believe they won since then, but the Reds are playing real bad. And something a lot of people weren't considering as well is the Pirates are only a game and a half out of a wild card spot.
Yeah.
So let's just say they start playing a decent ball at some time. You're still sitting at 1.5 game out of a wild card spot at the moment. It's hot. It's warm. This is when guys start hitting. A lot of these guys, you bring from a lot of guys come from, the places outside of the states, Mike, where it's hot and it's down south of Florida and places like this.
Yeah.
We were playing games in the snow to start to see. These guys don't want to,
Yeah, they were
now
right.
these
It,
guys
it
they're
was
getting
football weather.
it was football weather. They're getting in their element. This is whenever the teams are able to start to hit. Andrew McCutchen, of course, started to show that a little bit the other day. Um, Here are, Mike, the next. Okay, so the Pirates are off today, but then they come back home and they're going to play the San Francisco Giants for 3 tomorrow, and then they got the Braves coming to town. So if they could gain a little ground against San Fran, who has, I think, the exact same record as the Pirates do, this is what your this is your probable pitchers for tomorrow's game. Martin Perez is 1-3 with a 4.86 and 40 strikeouts. He's going up against Logan Webb, who is 4-4, Mike, with a 3.03 and 47 strikeouts. But following that game, you have a Jared Jones start and a Paul Skeens start. So if the Pirates could win this game against San Francisco tomorrow night at home, they then have the burden, San Francisco I'm talking about, they then
Yeah.
have the burden of facing Jones and Paul Skeens on the following nights. That's what I'm saying. We can get these nice little streaks. Just hit the
Mm-hmm.
ball. That's all you got to do is
Yeah.
just hit the ball. You
Yeah.
don't got to
Even
be just hit it.
yeah. Yeah. Like bail out the pitching staff. Like especially like someone like Martin Perez, who outside of like Keller, Jones, and Skeens, that they're showing that they can keep the runs down. It's like just do a little bit extra for like Martin Perez and a Bailey Falter. And if you do that, Jones, Skeens, and Keller will take care of themselves. You know,
Yeah.
and this team, man, I hate to say it, I'm starting to gain a little bit of hope again.
I know.
I'm
do this
afraid.
too.
I'm afraid to say because every time we say it, we end up going on a nice big losing streak. But like we've been saying all year, there's players on this team.
Yeah.
There's a nice lineup in there, a lineup that should at least be contending within contention for the division title. And they kind of showed it this week against the Cubbies that they can be that team. Like I figured they would be in around second and third place, and this is where they are right now. I figured the division would be a little bit tighter because it always is.
But they're not in the basement. That's got to be encouraging.
No, we're not. We're
They're
not in
not
the
even in
basement.
fourth place. That's encouraging.
Yeah. Like we crawled back. We were in danger going down into the basement, and they fought and clawed their way up to where they are now. If they keep doing that, it's a good sign.
I agree, Mike. I think that at this point in the season, as I said, other teams are going to start hitting well as well because the weather is warmer. But it can't hurt for us to be a team that starts hitting better because we have fantastic pitching.
Yeah.
So, game one for the San Francisco Giants series is tomorrow at 6:40. They'll play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then through the weekend we have the Braves coming to town again, which is never, ever, 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 ever an easy series for us ever. It doesn't matter what, when, who, where, when, how, why. The Braves is always going to be tough for us.
Yeah, they're and they're a really good team too. Their record, they may be like 6 games out of their division, but my God, they're still one of the better teams in baseball. They did lose one of their pitchers for the year with Tommy John surgery, but that's still a damn good lineup over there.
But this, even no matter what, when you play the Braves, you're always going to expect a good team. The same way anytime anybody plays the Steelers, even if they're not having a good year, guess what? You're still playing the Steelers.
You're going to have a tough game. Yeah.
Or, in baseball, even if the Yankees aren't doing that great, that when you get the Yankees, it's going to be a tough game. It's just that Atlanta's always been good in my life for the past 30 years, certainly. So we have them coming to town here at the end of the week. We'll see if we could handle them and continue. Here's the thing, Milwaukee's going to lose games eventually,
Yeah.
So we just have to find ways to win games, get back in this. Key Brian Hayes is on the IL, Mike, which I don't think is too much of a drop because you're able to put Triolo at that position. Yeah. And now you have Nick Gonzalez up, who's, hitting the ball very well.
Yeah.
You have him at second base. So I don't think we lose too much on that. I do want to see Brian get healthy.
Yeah.
Because he is a nice guy to have in the lineup.
Especially that glove over there on that corner, too.
Absolutely, man.
I did like Gonzalez's comment about someone asked him about the minor leagues. He's like, yeah, I'm done going to the minor leagues. I like that mentality of, no, I'm here, I'm hitting well, and I'm staying here. I'm going to force them to keep me up. I like that mentality.
Let me give you a little scoop on these pitchers, Mike. Of course, Mitch Keller, he throws yesterday in May. He's 3-0 with a 1.29 ERA. That's Mitch Keller, 3-0 in May with a 1.29 ERA. The three-headed monster, if you will, Jared Jones, Paul Skeens, and Mitch Keller, in their last starts combined through 18.1 innings, they've given up 15 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 25 Ks on 291 total pitches for a combined ERA, Mike, of 1.50.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
How can you not get excited here in Pittsburgh with these results from this starting pitching? Yeah. This is something. And and people are going to make the joke, and it's ultimately going to be the reality.
Yeah.
Because this isn't going to last a long time. It's not going to last forever. We're going to be to a point where we can't afford what we have. So let's make the best of it now. There's no more. Enjoy it. There's no more, down the road. This team has to figure out a way to win. They have to figure out a way to hit because this is, these couple of years are going to be it. And these guys are going to be gone. You're going to be watching them in October play in Texas or Houston or New York or wherever. It's now or never.
Yeah, enjoy these next 4 to 5 years with these guys. I don't know how long their contracts and arbitration runs, but let's say it runs through 2030. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
That's right.
And maybe if management's smart, just add something to it. So if it's going to end by that time, have something to show for it. I'm not saying
right.
I don't say we have to win the World Series, but advance into the playoffs, get to the NLCS.
Like, well, you have Garrett Cole.
I'll take that.
AJ Burnett and Liriano got to get something done. Don't
Yeah.
leave with no results. And they did.
Yeah.
They made it to the playoffs. They got through the wild card round. They got to the first round. They gave them a run for their money. You got to do something when you. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to wait around until you have something,
Yeah.
and then when it comes, you're not going to get it done. So
Yeah. Yeah. And
go. You got to go all in now.
yeah, you have to and because I want to, hold out hope that, they're going to add to this thing and these guys are going to be here for the next 10 to 12 years. But knowing how this organization is ran, it's not going to happen. So I want to enjoy this little 5-6 year window. And this is the time to spend. This is the time to add to the payroll to try and win. Because if you're going to tear it down, have something to show for it. It's kind of like the Marlins back in the day. They would win, build it up slowly, add to it, win, tear it down, and they build it back up, won, and then tore it down again. They had at least had something to show for it in those years when they did that. So why can't if the Pirates would do that, win a World Series once a decade, I would be happy with that.
If they won a World Series once in my life, I would be fine with that.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, if they won a World Series once in my lifetime, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, me too. Like I just missed them winning a World Series. So like it would be nice to just have something to show for this. Because I know it's going to end. We all know it's going to end. Just have something to show for it. Don't just keep kicking the can down the road because the guys you kicked out the can down the road for are here. The future is here. It is now.
Mike, let's talk a little bit more about this pitching performance by these young men. Skeens in his outing was he went 6 innings pitched. He gave up no runs, no hits, 1 walk, which I'll get to that in a second. 0 earned runs, and he had 11 strikeouts. And I can't express to you how bad the umpiring is.
Oh.
I just think the guy couldn't keep up with Paul Skeens' pitches. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the performance by the umpire, which they're starting to pay attention to, is these performances by the umpire by game, he was way off for a lot of these pitches. I'm thinking if he's not corrupt and he's not doing it on purpose, then he just couldn't see these pitches, Mike, because they were moving so fast. He was very poor performance by the umpire in the Paul Skeens game for sure.
Big time. Because you would see it on the when they have the little strike zone up there, how late those pitches were just breaking inside the zone.
Right.
And they weren't like borderline calls either. They were like inside the strike zone.
I don't envy him. I mean,
he just could not keep up with from not just the velocity of the pitch, but that late movement on that pitch is nasty. And it's just
like to be the
hard
catcher?
for the batter and
How would you like to be the catcher for him?
Oh, I'd hate to be the catcher. F that.
Also, Mike,
that nonsense.
Paul Skeens became the first player in Major League Baseball history to pitch 6 or more no-hit innings with 10+ strikeouts within his two first career starts.
Not bad.
Nobody's ever done that in the history of baseball. So we're sitting in a pretty decent position with this guy. You think we made the right choice?
Yeah. I was skeptical. I thought, let's go with we need hitting. Let's go with who was it? Dylan Cruz. Let's go with him. I'm glad the Pirates actually did something correct for a change.
And you know what? I always say pitching. Just like in football, quarterback.
Yep. Yeah.
You just need to have these guys. And if you have top game guys, you're going to be somewhat relevant. And I think that this is going to keep the Pirates' head somewhere right around where they're not drowning. And with this group of guys, if we could keep them healthy and keep them on this team for the next few years, we're not going to be in the basement. I mean, come on. At some point, these guys have to hit. At some point, law of average says there's going to be hitting on this team.
Yeah. And once they start to hit consistently. That's the other key thing on this team too, is consistency.
That's their problem. They out hit the Cubs yesterday 10-2, and you're thinking, okay, we're back in the game. Now's the consistency part that comes along. You have to do it consistently.
Yep. Against the Giants, you got to keep it up. Braves, it's going to be harder against the Braves. The Braves have some good pitching, but you still got to hit. You got to hit.
No two ways about it, Mike. Some other notable things around the majors, and then we're going to move on because there was a lot of things that went down over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
The Philadelphia Phillies are the best team in the majors, guys. If anybody could believe this, go look at your standings. They have the best record in baseball. Yes, everybody, the Philadelphia Phillies. This makes me not feel so bad about the visit that we made to Philadelphia last time.
Yeah.
Where I was feeling a little shitty, but now I'm not feeling as shitty. Also, we talked about Ellie Dela Cruz in this sinking Reds ship of Cincinnati. Cruz is not sinking. He goes 4 for 4 yesterday, 3 runs and 4 stolen bases.
Jeez.
So this is what we need our Cruz to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And his, my God, 256 batting average, 9 home runs, 352 on base, 43 hits. I'll take. I wish we had that. 30 stolen bases this year. Ooh.
Good morning to Ron on the board. How you doing this morning, sir? Great to hear from you, as always. Also, Mike, the number one hitter this season in the hitter rankings. You want to take a stab?
Connor Joe.
I'm talking about all league.
All league.
Number one hitter. Best hitter according to the number one hitter power rankings.
Ohtani?
Ohtani, the pitcher for the Dodgers, yes, is the best hitter in the league. You know what? I like this. I like this movement, and I hope to see more of it because I always wondered because in Little League, the kid that pitched the best was always the best thrower and runner and everything else. And I always say, what happened to that guy? What happened to that guy when he became a professional pitcher? Why did he lose everything else? Ohtani, you're seeing that player, and I hope to see this all throughout the league, Mike. And this valuable, this kind of player could become a norm in the majors.
I want to see the norm too, especially now. Like, pitchers don't. I don't know. I just hate the specialization so much, so quick, so fast. You see it a lot in Little League too. Like you're just gonna pitch. You're not gonna be doing both anymore. But if you have someone like who can do both, like Skeens was able to do both. He even says he misses hitting. Why not let him?
I think Skeens will be able to pull it off. He was a big time hitter. Mike, I can't remember the amount of home runs in the college, but he was a hell of a hitter. But I just remember the kids that I played Little League with. They were the pitcher, and they hit the ball well, and they threw, and they caught, and they just do the game for whatever reason at that age. And when they weren't pitching, they were at shortstop.
Yeah,
they'd always get moved over to shortstop. But there you go.
It's just weird. It's just weird. Like if you're good, if you can do both, do both. I don't know why teams wouldn't want to capitalize on that.
Ultimately, teams try to protect these pitchers' arms, and remember they used to make them wear jackets when they were on the base pads back in the day.
Yeah.
Couldn't do enough to protect these pitchers. All right, Mike. Let's talk about a little football here. FanDuel's AFC playoff prediction at the moment is this. FanDuel at the moment has the AFC playoff prediction for this upcoming season. Number one seed, according to FanDuel, this upcoming season is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike.
Yeah.
This is my early prediction. I'm saying Kansas City wins. They're going to be the first team to win 3 in a row. But we have a lot of time to talk about that. Number two, according to FanDuel, guys, in the AFC playoff prediction is the Baltimore Ravens. Way to go outside of the box, FanDuel. And, wasn't that exactly how it was last year? Kansas City? No, Baltimore and then Kansas City, maybe.
I can't remember how they had the betting last year.
Number three. Yeah,
it was Baltimore. Baltimore did finish first.
Yeah, they got the bye. Number 3 seed in the playoffs, according to FanDuel in this upcoming season, Mike, is the Houston Texans. Number 4, Buffalo. So according to FanDuel, they believe your 4 division winners are going to be the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Houston Texans, and then the Buffalo Bills. Then come your wild card teams. Number 5, according to FanDuel, the Cincinnati Bengals, Mike. Number 6, the New York Jets, who have 6 primetime games before the Steelers even play one division game.
That's insane.
And finally, number 7, according to FanDuel, they say that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be in that 7 spot, which leaves the Browns out of the playoff picture, which I think is great.
I like
not because I'm afraid of them, but geez, man, if you have a chance to laugh at the guys from Cleveland, why not, right?
Why? Yeah, exactly. I'll make fun of them.
Good morning to Ralph on the board as well. I'm going to get to that one question or one moment here, Ralph, with this Cam thing. I'm actually going to let Mike take over because he was involved to some degree in the whole Cam Hayward. But I do want to go over a few things first, Mike. Of course, the Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they have got the number one spot from FanDuel in the prediction for next season. Mike, did you know? Did you know last year in the National Football League? I'm sorry, Patrick Mahomes threw for 27 touchdowns and 14 interceptions.
No, wow.
Russell Wilson.
That's a bad ratio.
Russell Wilson threw for 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Mahomes.
I'll take that ratio. I think Mahomes is the better player, but I'll take the
Mahomes.
I'll take
27
on
touchdowns.
paper. I'll take the 26.
14 interceptions.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it anytime. The Steelers can hear today or very soon, maybe over the next few days, about the possible hosting of the NFL draft, Mike, in 26 or 27. We may be getting a scoop on that as early as this week. I think they should do it. I don't think, listen, Detroit isn't exactly built like New York or LA with the potential to bring in millions and millions of people. And I think that we're very similar to Detroit in a lot of ways. And I just think that the infrastructure of our city is very similar to the way theirs is. We're not big. They're not big. And they managed to get that many people in there. And I think we could do it.
I don't know. Pittsburgh's really condensed and compact downtown, especially in that area. It is going to be a huge challenge. A huge challenge. I want to see them pull it off. I think it would be a feat if they pull it off. But I think it's just, I don't know, the way they laid out all the hills and just how it's just hard to navigate. I don't know.
All right. Good enough.
I could be wrong. I'm okay being wrong.
James Harrison says this, Mike, the Steelers should be focused on the Lombardi Trophy more than non-losing seasons. Well, I'm glad a genius, somebody who's known as being very, very intelligent, comes along and tells us this information, because apparently we lost focus in Pittsburgh and we think that it's a bigger thing to get non-losing seasons apparently in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, like outside of you never hear anyone in the Steelers go, "Hey man, we didn't have a losing season. Like, man, our season was a disappointment. We didn't do what we wanted to do." Like, you don't hear like the players say, "Oh, hey, we managed to finish above 500."
Right.
No, they're all disappointed. We didn't get to what we wanted to get to. I just like, it feels like in the past 3 years it became the narrative of the Steelers are all they care about is not having a losing record. No, they from Tomlin, the owners, the players, they're all disappointed if they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're all disappointed they haven't won in 7 years.
I want to see them do something about it. That's all.
Yeah.
I want to see action. Yeah. Mike, also a couple of things breaking down over the weekend. A lot of speculation on a couple on one thing in particular here about Mike Tomlin. I'm seeing that Steelers may fire Mike Tomlin after a look at this brutal 2024 schedule, which I think is crazy. I think that's just media talking, people trying to get a story.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Why would that change much between now and then?
Yeah.
And again, that's assuming that we're going to go into that particular part of the schedule and lay an egg. I mean, that's just assuming that the 6 division games in that period of time, the Chiefs game and the Philadelphia Eagles game, that we were assuming that we're going to do terrible. And that's going to put Mike Tomlin in a position to finally be able to get rid of him for some of the people that don't like him.
Yeah.
They feel that that's going to be a possibility. Mike, I don't think no matter what happens this year, I don't think Mike Tomlin loses his job.
I don't think so either. I think this is people trying to be the first one to say, like, I called it. I called it. Tomlin's on the hot seat. I called it. They're going to fire Tomlin this year.
Right.
Like, this team would totally have to shit the bed for that to happen.
Exactly. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not this year. And I'm not going to say I totally disagree with anybody. I'm not going to,
I just don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Here's the thing. It's not been bad. It's been fair. We it's been average. And if it's been bad, then you start you having these talks. But the fact of the matter, it hasn't been bad. Yes, they haven't won their playoff games. Yes, they haven't won Super Bowls. But at the end of the day, though, that would be great if those things happen, but it hasn't been bad.
Yeah.
This team, as we said, they reached the 500 mark. This team did make the playoffs. This team, it has to be bad, I think, before Mike Tomlin gets to Cam.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anything that's shown that. I think that people could have a good argument
Yeah.
in some cases, as Ron was saying on the board, 3 games in a 10-day. I'm okay. I'm talking
That's
about last season with the Indianapolis Colts, New England, and in Arizona. That's as bad as it got.
yeah.
You're not going to fire your coach over a 3-game period. I thought that's where Ron was going with that, but
No, but
he's not.
that 3 games in 10 days this year is going to be brutal.
But
Brutal.
yeah,
But you know what? Like
everybody else
this
is
team,
playing
not
games too.
yeah, like Tomlin guided a team through that same stretch during the COVID year.
Yeah.
So he knows, okay, using that experience, now he can apply how to rest, how to coach, how to handle practices. Hopefully, we might have an advantage there. Hopefully, probably
I
not.
think Mike Tomlin's around until he decides to step down. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Not that I agree with it, but that is how I feel it's going to play out. Mike, this next story, I'm going to hand it over to you. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure what the hell's going on. I knew a little bit with what you had said, but the what I have written down here for this is let me find it. Let's do with Cam Hayward.
Claiming
Okay,
his
Steelers
contract.
fans turn on Cam Hayward over questionable tweet. What is this all about, Mike?
Um, let's see, because I know like someone like he tweeted out about him. If I can find everything, because everything's now like people have deleted their posts, but Cam's saying, he just wants to make that money,
He just wants to
feed
eat.
it. Yeah, he wants to eat. He wants to eat. And then what a couple fans were like, no, we haven't done anything with you. You haven't done anything for this team that much either. And he replied back, with a gif making fun of the fan. So then I reply, Steelers haven't won anything with you on the roster. I remember getting your ass, or the Jaguars whooping your ass up and down the field. A couple people laughed at that. But and now it Cam's like, he's going to sit out voluntary workouts. That's fine. They're voluntary. It's in the name. They're optional. You can sit out. Now, when it comes to mini camp, now that's going to be the question. You're going to hold out minicamp. You want to hold in like you did before to get, or like TJ Watt did and like Deontay Johnson did. Thing is, those guys were a whole hell of a lot younger than you are. You're 35 years old and you want a new 3-year contract. You don't want to lose any, you don't want to take any money away. Like he's showing how selfish he really is in these tweets. And finally, there's a segment of fans that are realizing how selfish Cam Hayward is. Of how this is a me guy. He's not a we guy.
Right.
It's all about him, all about Cam.
Like
if you want to win a Super Bowl, you gotta sacrifice money.
Mike, look at it. Look, I mean, come on. I see Justin. I'm sorry. I'm saying I see Russell Wilson every day on my TV. Looking at how he's working out. They're showing pictures of him, comparable to AB. They're saying I see pictures of Justin Fields now working out.
Like Ron said, Najee working,
getting weight.
Figuring out, hey, what I've done the past 2 years hasn't worked. I'm going to try something different.
It did not work, but he wants to be better.
Yeah, work as well as he hoped it would.
And so you see a lot of players really, really putting forth that effort because they want to win. And the guy that was never able to get it done, the teams that he was on never were able to get done, is the guy who's threatening not to go to the voluntaries. Then he's threatening this, then he's threatening that. Get it figured out, brother, because here's the thing. He has to be able to look at himself and say, you know what, I'm look around the league at defensive players that are making good money, that are the anchors of these lines. It's not him anymore. He's 35 years old, I think. And he's just not the guy. He got, if you look at his numbers, he got a nice amount of sacks here in Pittsburgh while his time. But I got to tell you, the past couple of years, this guy, with his vagina injury last year, and then he was out most of the season. I don't feel with him. I think that he should be reconstructing, if anybody, because he's going to get his money anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the problem, Cam? I went through the feed that you're talking about, and I went down and you know what? There's a lot of people that are saying this, Mike, and we've been saying this for a couple of years now.
I've been saying it ever since that Jacksonville game, because I remember that game. Like, Ben took the heat. He's like, he's like being the offense, I needed to do more to help this team win. Because he had like one touchdown. He had a couple touchdowns, but he had that one pick. It was a killer turnover. I think it was at the beginning of the game. And he took blame for the loss. He stood there at the podium and said, I needed to play better. I needed to get my offense better. And there's Cam just saying, oh, there's a lot of us that need to look, we all need to be better. We all need to be better. Whereas Ben saying, I need to do better. But you flip it on to a win. Ben would be, Parks, hey man, my line played great, receivers played great, everyone did great. Cam has a good game, defense plays well. Oh man, I had a great game out there, fellas. This is Cam Hayward. This is who he is. He's selfish player.
I just wish the Cam was a little bit smarter to see how stupid he is. Because
Yeah,
here's the thing, he's not. Come on, I mean, he's at the end of his rope. There's no two ways
yeah.
about it. And I
Like,
think one more injury as significant as this. I to be honest, I thought he was done after last year with that injury. But I think one more significant injury. I think Cam's done. What's he going to do? Come back until he's 40? The guy's barely performing now.
yeah.
So
Like he'll have 3 or 4 really good games throughout the year that elevate those stats. Where he'll have multiple sack games here, multiple tackle games here, but then there's games where he's just disappeared. Where you're watching a guard you never heard of block him 30 yards down the field.
and they continue to be able to run the ball right. We do have issues up front. There's no two ways about it. Unfortunately, we didn't address too much
Yeah.
there.
Well,
We did improve our
yeah.
inside linebacker room, which is certainly going to help out. But again, at the end of the day, you
Yeah,
have a guy as big as Cam being the guy that's being pushed down the field most,
he's not who he once was. In that first part of his career, he was one of my favorite players because he was just a dominant defensive end in 3-4, where it was taking 2 to 3 guys to move him out of the way. He was making those game-changing plays on a consistent basis. Now you could run right at him. You're running right at him and Watt. And then when it comes time for the playoffs, Cam had never produces. He finally had what the game against the Chiefs where he caused the fumble and TJ got the touchdown or vice versa.
Yeah.
And then last year he had a good stat line. But you look at him in the playoffs, if he wants to be frustrated because he hasn't won a Super Bowl in 14 years, how about him stepping up and making plays in the playoffs, being that team leader that we saw Joey Porter Jr. or Joey Porter be on that defense? Like
do you see
Cam's supposed
Cam
to be a
Hayward
leader,
having
he's
enough
not.
in the tank to be able to have one more what
No.
fans would consider a good season?
Considering there's not a whole lot of depth behind him, he's going to be in there, and he's going to get his tackles. He's going to get he's going to get the stats,
He's
and
going to get his Cam tackles.
he's going to get the Cam tackles, fall on the guy, the junior say out tackles, tap a guy, do a little dance, get the credit for it. He's going to have one of those type of years again.
Mike,
Show up late and get the credit.
so if you were to go to a Carolina Panthers, all the Carolina Panthers home games this year would cost you on average $695. Due to all the TV subscriptions for fans to watch, the streamings, the different things that you have to pay for, Mike, it's $695 is cheaper for Carolina Panthers to go to every single game this season for Carolina than to stay home and try to watch them on TV.
Now, is that just for the Carolina Panthers watch all 16 games at home, or is that to watch all,
Well,
32 times?
No. Yeah. Well, you would have to buy into these streamlines. It doesn't,
Yeah.
you can watch any game you want after that. But to get your team to watch them, the Carolina Panthers literally would cost you less to go down to the stadium to watch that same amount of games.
So you watch 16 games for live and in person for $900, or I can watch 544 NFL games for like $900. I'll take the $900 for 544 games.
Is when would you have ever seen this in your life where it would have been cheaper to get down to the stadium than to stay home on your very own couch and watch football?
What? Well, the Panthers, they're not on Netflix, they're not on Prime, they're not on Hulu or wherever they're going to be. So all their games are just on their local channel.
Yeah.
So I see that. I see the argument, but if I want to watch 544 football games,
But you don't. We're just talking about.
But I'm going to pay $1.86 for 544 games. That's a better value than going to the stadium and paying.
For the Carolina Panthers, it's going to cost them more to stay home and watch football than it is to get down to the arena. The point being, isn't that crazy? This is where we're at, Mike. This is
No, no, because the number that's being out there to watch every single game this year is for 544 football games.
but if you invest into watch one team, you're going to
Yeah,
get to watch all those teams
I'm going to
because of
watch
the investment.
17 games for
Right.
$900. Or I'm going to watch 544 games for just under a
You're not going to
grand.
watch 17 games. Nobody's going to watch 17 games. That's
No, I'm
crazy.
going to watch. I'm going to go to the Carolina Panthers for 17 or watch. No, you're going to watch eight. I'm sorry, eight, nine home games, whatever, for $100 a game, or I'm going to watch 544 games for a
The
dollar
point
something.
being is it's costing more money to want to stay home and watch football than it is to go to watch football at an arena, at a stadium.
No, no,
Saying.
it's not. No, it's
All right,
not.
well, we have to move on. I don't have time to argue this ridiculous argument because this
Because
is the
you
way that I read it out of the.
for the lump sum, yeah, but for the value of it,
Yeah,
no.
okay. So then we do
I
have
see
to
where you're
move
coming
on,
from. I
guys.
see where you're
We
coming
have to
from now.
talk
It
about some
took me a
other
minute.
sports, Mike. There's a
You
lot of
had to
things that
you had
went
to hold
on.
my hand to get to
And
the
here we
point
go.
that you
The
were trying to make.
Pittsburgh
I got it
Passion, the
now.
women that are professional football players in this town, they are on a roll as well, Mike. This team starts 3-0. They beat the New York Wolves over the weekend 51-6. Three blowout wins for the Passion to start the season. Next, they're going to Tampa Bay to play the Inferno on Saturday. Then after that, the big game, Mike, they come home to play the Boston Renegades. And then after that, they go to Columbus to finish out their
Yeah,
season before the playoffs. Go down there, don't lay an egg against Tampa Bay, come back home and get ready for this Boston game. I mean, that's what fans could do. We could look ahead to the schedule.
yeah.
It's not a
That's the
good
game
idea
that
for
scares
them.
me.
But you go down there, but the things is they're just so dominant. 51
Yeah,
points. They put up 50 points
yeah,
plus in 2 games in a row. You come home from Florida next weekend and get ready for Boston with 4 dominant wins under your belt. I don't think Tampa's that good, but you never know, Mike.
yeah. It's just like you said, we can look ahead. They can't, and the way the team's been playing this year, it's like they were pissed about last year. You can just see in the way they're playing that they
They were
don't
good
want that.
last year. This year, they're
Yeah,
dominant.
yeah.
Everything they
It's like
do.
it's those the 2 games they had against Boston last year just derailed their season, and it's looking like they're gearing up to not let that happen.
The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they come to a draw, Mike, and
Mm-hmm.
in full time, they finished the game 2-2 with Tulsa. Next, they play Memphis. So that's the Hounds.
I lost $1 on that game. I took the Hounds to win.
The Pitt Panthers football team, they are able to grab a 4-star a 4-star commit named Elijah Dotson. Also is considering other P5 schools such as Michigan, Penn State, Michigan
Yep.
State, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. So anyway you slice that, that's a nice grab for the Pitt football team, the defensive back. Another good defensive back coming to Pitt, Mike.
It's like another good wide receiver going to like Alabama or LSU,
Right.
or a good linebacker going to Penn State, starting to become synonymous with Pitt is good DBs.
So they were able to snatch him up, Mike, and then over to the ice. Mike Sullivan. Mike Sullivan was named head coach
Yeah.
for the 2025 some kind of 4-team face-off, something or other, and then in 2026 the Olympic team.
Yeah.
So Mike, a guy that hasn't figured out a way to make the adjustments for the Penguins to win win games with 4 potential Hall of Famers. He is at the head of this USA Olympic team.
Oh, at least from this one, like he'll be able to pull from players that might actually fit the way he wants to play. He doesn't have to change the system. He can just get all the speed guys that he wants and needs. It's gonna be interesting roster. See who he builds.
It is going to be interesting because again, give him all the things that he has to build, and then he wanted new legs, and he got new legs, and just I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting because like this Penguin team, it's older, and he doesn't want to adjust to that, to adjust his system to it. We're going to here he has the entire pool of eligible players, so we'll see what kind of roster he builds. It's not going to surprise. It won't surprise me if it's just a speed team. Don't expect a lot of young players on there because Sully doesn't like younger players. So the older guys that still have some legs on them.
Like in the USL, the UFL, I'm sorry, the UFL, the football league that it playing in the springtime, the combination of XFL teams and USFL teams, they got back together this weekend to play. Michigan Panthers, they take down the Memphis Showboats 24-18. The late game on Saturday, the Birmingham Stallions 35, the Houston Roughnecks 28. Good game yesterday, which I
Yeah.
did catch a little bit of this one. St. Louis Battlehawks 26, DC Defenders 21. It took a
Yeah.
late score in the game to get this win for St.
Yeah.
Louis, keeps them up top. And with their numbers, I think DC is out of the playoffs with
Yeah,
that
I
loss.
think my DC defenders have faltered this year. They fell. I don't like it.
Couple nice plays by Drayvon Askew Henry from Aliquippa, another DB
Yeah.
from Aliquippa in this for the Battlehawks. And finally, the later game yesterday was the San Antonio Brahmas 20, the Arlington Renegades 15. They only have a couple games left, Mike. They have, I think, a
Yeah.
week or two left the regular season.
Yep.
Then they play uh, a championship round. Then they play a playoff round, and then the championship game. It's
Yeah.
kind of strange, but you will
Yeah.
see that play out. But it was because of both leagues being brought
Yep.
together. So we'll get more into that as we get closer. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2Yinzers.com over there. We got all of our social media links for Ryan and I. We got the merchandise store over there, all your 2Yinzers merch. And we got the blog over there. All over at the2Yinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody.
Check it out.
www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. A lot of cool things over there. Go check it out. All right, Mike. So the question of the day, this is going to have to do with Pirate pitching.
Ooh.
I mean, that was the big story of the weekend.
Yeah,
of course,
yes, it was.
Jared Jones, Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, and Marco, or I'm sorry, not Marco, but
Bailey Falter.
Bailey Falter. And Marco Gonzalez is not even in the rotation right now. Who am I thinking? Perez. Martin
Perez.
Martin and Marco. I always get them too confused. So here is the question of the day, guys. Feel free to play along on the board. Name two. Mike, name two of any of the four rookies that threw more strikeouts than Paul Skeens in a game in their rookie season. Mike, I need two names, two Pittsburgh Pirates that threw more than 11 strikeouts in a game their rookie season. Of course, Paul Skeens does it game two. But if you can name two of the other four players that pulled this off in Pirates history, you will win. Take a moment to think it over, Mike. We are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show that we do brand new live every single day. We take and we upload it over on Spotify and podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. Maybe you couldn't have a chance to catch the game. Maybe you just would rather listen to the game, possibly at work, at the gym, taking a walk. You could always put your earbuds in and check out the brand new Two Dumb Yinzers on podcast on Spotify. Check it out. All right, so it looked like it is, man. The question of the day is name two. I'm sorry, not any. Name two of the four rookies that threw more strikeouts in a game than Paul Skeens did in his game this past week. Ron on the board says, I have no idea. I need two names, Mike, if you will. Take a chance, take a shot at it.
Yep.
Who do you think?
I'm going to go with Chris Benson and Garrett Cole.
Chris Benson and Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
Good guesses. All right. Question is this. Name two of the four pitchers that threw more strikeouts than Paul Skeens in a game in their rookie season. Paul had 11 on Friday. Mike says Chris Benson and Garrett Cole. You got one of them, Mike. Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is one of the four pitchers that had more strikeouts in a game in their rookie season than what Paul Skeens had this past week. Garrett Cole. The other three to choose from were John Candelaria from the grade 70s teams, yep. Jose De Leon. Do you remember this name from the early 90s that we talked about? I forget what he had done, but it was something similar to what Skeens did. He was also in a trivia over the past few weeks, I believe. Jose De Leon. And finally, one that I don't think that anybody remembers, but hey, what do I know? Babe Adams. Babe Adams was the fourth guy. Garrett Cole, John Candelaria, Jose De Leon, and Babe Adams, all are four pitchers who had threw more strikeouts in a game in their rookie season for the Pirates than Paul Skeens did. So you got half it right, Mike.
I was close. I was close.
You
I'll
were
take it.
close. Um, what else? What else is going on, Mike? I do want to say that the basketball and the hockey playoffs are still going on. I didn't think we'd have enough time to get into it, so I didn't take the information down, but I'm going to go over real quick just to look at the teams we have still surviving and thriving in the NHL and the MVP or the NBA. It looks a little bit like this, Mike, at the moment in the NHL. Today, the Edmonton Oilers are going to be facing the Vancouver Canucks. No. Is that right? Yes, today. That's game 7. So if you're interested in watching this Western playoff game, the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks, they play at 9 o'clock tonight. Conference finals. We have some things set here. The Florida Panthers and New York Rangers are going to be playing game 1 on Wednesday. So the Boston Bruins are gone, and whoever the other team was is gone.
Hurricanes were gone.
The Hurricanes are gone.
Yeah.
I mean, those are usually 2 favorites, the Hurricanes and Boston.
Yeah. And if the Canucks win tonight, all the number 1 seeds will remain.
And that means that they will play the Dallas Stars, who was able to win in 2 overtimes over the Colorado Avalanche to advance. So it's going to be either the Florida Panthers, the New York Rangers, the Dallas Stars, and the winner of the Canucks and Oilers. And what has to happen, Mike? Who has to win to have all number 1s?
The Canucks need to win for all number 1s. Yeah. Oilers would be the low seed at number 2.
Okay. And then finally, I'm going to hop over to the NBA real quick because, as I said, we did have a few extra minutes more than I thought we'd have. NBA playoffs look a little like this. Game 1 in the East, you have the Pacers and the Celtics. That game is at 8:08 tomorrow. Let's see where we're at here.
And then the
game 1 in the West between the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. That's also tomorrow. That's an 8:30 game. And that's it, Mike, right? These are your final 4.
Yeah, those are the final 4. The Pacers, the 6th seed, just, upsetting their way.
Yeah, I think the Mavericks win this one, man. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm still riding high on the Timberwolves.
It's like
they should have closed out the Nuggets early. Yeah, they should have closed out the Nuggets early, but my God, they came back from a 20-point deficit last night and just rallied for that win. There's just something about this Timberwolves team. You just, if you're a fan of them, like you just had that feeling like this is our year. Everything that they've been able to do in the playoffs, come back and just win against, see it slip away, then claw back in the series, claw back in game 7. It has like that team of destiny feel to it.
All these teams, like all these teams in the NBA finals and the NHL finals, it really feels odd. These are all odd teams to me. The Pacers and Celtics, the Timberwolves, and then in hockey, it's Florida's back in it, and the Rangers. I mean, come on, they don't really, So it's interesting. I don't know. Good to see some new faces, some new teams in there. What else, Mike? Mike, do you have anything before we start getting ready to take off for today?
Like, I got nothing. I've been on and off, just scrolling through the Twitter, seeing if there's anything that catches my eye. There's really nothing. The only thing I did catch this video right before we came on. They're going through the handshake line of one of the games. The Buckeyes, they're high-fiving after one of their wins. Paul Skeens pulls his hands down as soon as Rowdy Tellez comes up to give him a high five.
He should have punched him in the face.
I like it. I like it. He doesn't want his pitching hand to be infested by that loser. That's
rubbing off.
That's thinking right there. That's thinking right there. That's why Paul Skeens is not my favorite Bucko. He hates Rowdy Tellez.
I do want to say thank you everybody for checking us out and coming to hang with us today. We appreciate each and every one of you for doing so. We wouldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board, as always, for always keeping it interesting here. My thing is this, Mike. Earlier on in the show on the board, Ron asked where Derpy was. Derpy is MIA. I don't know. He's MIA this morning. I texted him briefly this morning. We talked just briefly about the link for the show and everything like that. But I don't know where he's at. I don't know where old Knuckles is today.
I don't know. Oh, there is breaking news, Ryan. Breaking news. Liv Morgan is single.
Liv Morgan is single. Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
could dig.
yeah. So now's your chance, buddy. Now's your chance.
There you go. Maybe once I join the Illuminati, we'll get this thing
Yeah,
rolling.
that'll be your appointed girlfriend.
Yeah. What is it like? Some shit like this. I don't know. But Mike, anything else, man?
I got nothing. This is a good show today, man. It flew by.
It was a good show. It did fly by. Again, thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody for checking it out and hanging out with us, Mike. Thank you. Great job as always. Get on that. We'll get on that Knuckles. We'll get on that
we gotta find
Knuckles.
Knuckles. We gotta figure out what's going on with Knuckles.
As soon as he gets his name Knuckles, and all of a sudden he's MIA. But that's it for me, everybody. I do want to say thank you again, Mike, at the Two Dumb Yinzers, Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself. Everybody have a great day. We got games tonight. What do we got tonight, Mike? Pirates don't play till tomorrow.
Yeah, they don't play till tomorrow. I don't even
the
know.
Caitlin Clark plays tonight. I got one more. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
Let's go a little overtime here. Caitlin Clark joins Candace Parker, Sue Bird, and Nikki McRae as the only WNBA players with 50 plus points and 15 plus assists in their first 3 games in the WNBA. The Fever, however, are 0-3 at this point. She had 23 points the other night in the loss to New York. They play the Connecticut Sun again tonight, who they played to start off the season, 7 o'clock at home. Check it out, see what Caitlin Clark can do, see if she could maintain this. I think she's just going to get better and better, Mike. In my opinion, she just looks more comfortable now than she has since she's been there. But I was wrong. The Pirates don't play till tomorrow. They have the day off. But if out of all the sports, Mike, what I'm looking at, the one that I'm most interested is in Caitlin Clark. But you could always keep up with your NHL, NFL, all these games, and we will be back tomorrow morning.
Yeah, she played I probably watched about that first quarter into a little bit of that second quarter. You can see that like she was starting to get the feel of the game.
You can see it in her face.
Yeah,
the confidence is there.
Yeah, like she was playing as well as that you've seen her play in a while, and like she was out there hanging out with the team that they played. What had Brianna Stewart on it, who was league MVP from last year. They got the lady who competed in the 3-point competition with Steph, and she was hanging with them.
They're really bad.
They're a bad team.
There's a reason they had the number 1 pick.
Yeah, like very disjointed on offense and defense, missing some open shots that they should have made, but you can see that. But it's the way that offense runs. Like no one's moving to get open looks for her. It's just weird. It's like they're just not a good team.
They had to just do what I'm sorry, what Iowa did, and just keep giving her the ball, let her shoot. It worked there, and you know what? It would work here too. I understand that you don't want to step on any of the veterans' toes in the WNBA, but I got to be honest. If you want to win, let this girl shoot the ball.
Yeah, it's just
it works.
They got to work on getting her the open looks too.
Absolutely.
She's having to do a lot to generate her own space, so they got to figure something out.
So Bucco's back at it tomorrow in a series against San Francisco, but Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, one that we certainly keep a close eye on here.
We're on.
Is Caitlin Clark. So tonight, check her out. We'll be back first thing in the morning to talk about that and much, much more. I do want to say thank you, Ron, as well. Always greatly appreciated. And for Mike, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See you.